friends, colleagues and listeners, here we are and we're in the home of Meantime Communications. I've already spoken about the wow impact when I came in and the colour and everything else that goes with it. Very quickly, before we even get into anything else, Abigail, and I'll just quickly introduce you. This is Abigail Hammond, Senior Accountant Executive, Meantime Communications, who I had the pleasure of meeting just over a year ago in Dubai. Yeah. So before we get stuck into too much, what do you think about the office and the location and
I think it's amazing. I think being based in the centre of London, which is you know so iconic, you can see the Shard when you walk in. It really creates quite an impact. We moved office just around the corner about a year ago, and this office has such a nice feel about it. It's bright. You've got all of the greenery. As I said, the Shard around the corner. Plenty of places to eat. It just creates a really nice environment to kind of work in, and a super easy commute for me, so I can never complain.
But it is lovely, isn't it? So close to the river.
So close to the river, especially when it's. We've obviously had such good weather recently. It's really nice to be able to like walk around, get out, parks. It is just a really lovely environment.
And I must say, I agree with you. Right now, with that aside, you've been. How long have you worked for Meantime now?
I think just under 2 years. I think I'm at about a year and 10 months now. So we're slowly approaching 2 years.
So when you first joined Meantime, what were your expectations of the industry and in fact the role? And also what reality surprised you in a positive way? So what
I think if I'm being really honest, my expectations of the industry were very few. I think we had this conversation before that you don't really learn about logistics, supply chain, or even air cargo. Yeah. So I was coming in really blind. And I thought it would be more intimidating than I think it was when I did eventually understand what a freight forwarder was or what air cargo is. So I think something that really surprised me was how welcoming everyone was and how much the industry actually does. I think definitely seeing the PR element of everything and speaking to all the clients, you really get a picture of what everyone's kind of doing and the impact it has on the world. I had no idea what I was walking into really, especially with a PR as well. Obviously had a little bit of experience through uni and stuff in the kind of PR element. I thought it would be more intimidating, but Meantime's particularly good at kind of teaching you and you're learning, and we've got all of these systems and stuff in place. So I think I always thought that eventually it would get overwhelming, the workload. We work with quite a lot of clients and we're doing a lot all at once. People are always shocked about how many industry papers there are, for example, how many people there are to talk to, particularly on such a niche topic. And so I think I thought going into it that maintaining kind of the confidence and being organised enough to do it might be a struggle, but Meantime has so many systems in place. We've got so many things that we do in order to make that a lot easier, which I think works really, really well. And I think the clients enjoy it as well. Everything's, we've got loads of visibility. Everything's super easy to see. Makes it all really easy to be able to use and really get stuck in and get to know the clients, which I think is such an important thing to do.
That's great. I was having an earlier discussion with Julian and Emma, and I can't remember now. I think Julian said how well organised Emma was, or that she needs to be more organised. Which one would it be?
Can possibly comment on that one. I think she's well organised, or I think she's put lots of things in place that mean that we can be really well organised as well. I think you forget how much there is that you're juggling, and especially as I'm not a new starter anymore, but when I was a new starter, you're coming into an industry that you don't know very much about, and if you do, credit to you, because I had no idea it existed. So having those kind of that organisation, those systems, and the explainers in place allow you to be able to really dive into the industry and learn quite a lot. And everyone is always so good about explaining things to you. Nice.
I think one of the things that impressed me so much is how quickly Emma and Julian get you guys out on the road. I mean, not just on the road, but across the world. I mean, the opportunities to see the world and also be part of, the big logistics vehicle that keeps the world ticking and rolling. I think that's a great opportunity
It's incredible. Lots of my friends were very jealous. I think my first trip was actually to Istanbul. I think that's where we first properly met, was in Istanbul to ACHL. And I must have been in the job for about 2 months, walked into the office one day and Emma went, "How do you feel about Istanbul? And do you have a passport?" And then next thing you know, I'd walked into a room full of very scary looking people who knew a lot more than I did. And it was incredible. And my friends were like, "What's going on? How is she?" It's one of my favourite parts of the job, I think.
And going back to that now, right? So everybody, and like we have loads of conferences and people say, oh, we've got to get more youngsters in and we've got to do this. And I think it's crazy the way people talk about quotas and percentages. I think if people are good enough, you should always give everybody an opportunity. It doesn't matter what they are, what they're like or whatever. But everybody used to say, all these old people in these conferences and stuff.
Yeah.
When you first went in, what did you actually think then? And was that perception maintained, or how quickly was it changed when you started to talking to some of the older folk?
Never call any of you old. I think when I first walked in, if I remember walking into that room, I was intimidated, and you think no one's going to speak to me because I have no idea what's going on, or I've limited knowledge of what's going on at the moment, and everyone's known each other for years, so I think it can feel really intimidating, and it's very a close-knit, isolating group. That changed within probably about 10 minutes. I think we walked in and Emma was immediately greeted by about 15 different people who then immediately greeted me as well.
Yeah.
And you're really welcomed in to the whole industry and the environment. Everyone's super easy to talk to. Everyone is more than willing to talk to you. And it is a really encouraging environment, I think, even though you're talking to people that have been doing this for years and their knowledge base is vast. They're very, very willing to kind of talk to you and teach you, which I think is so vital. Yeah,
no, it is. Of course, it is. It's handing the baton on. But on that topic, so when you come in and you're seeing all these old people that you're thinking all this experience and everything, it's also good that they listen, because personally, I think you're old if you stop learning. Every day you learn something new and you're happy to learn, then you're still growing, which is fantastic. So do you think that group, or that close-knit clique or whatever, they listen to you?
Yeah, they definitely do. It's something I notice, particularly in this job as well. You've got people that are genuinely asking for our advice and what we think in a PR sense. Emma says it quite a lot, which is we're never going to put the box on the plane, but I can tell you how we can talk to the media about you putting the box on the plane. Yeah. And despite kind of appearing young or something like that, they're always more than willing to ask and listen and take my suggestions into consideration, which I think is a really lovely position to be in. Yeah. Everyone does have full confidence in you and will trust what we're advising, and that goes to kind of Emma and Julian's experience in the industry, and then also the whole team's kind of willingness to keep going and to keep talking and share our expertise wherever they may lie.
And when you interacted with lots of the other youngsters who also are, I think, more than welcome, but also lucky to be able to go to these conferences, because 100%. it wasn't like that in years gone by, and I think it's fantastic. How do you feel that collectively, as a younger group, the new generation, you're feeling that things are changing? Obviously, we've got AI and all sorts of things happening now.
Yeah.
But do you feel that the industry is keeping up, or it's not quite at the pace that it should be?
I think it wants to keep up. You can see that they talk about it a lot, and there is lots of conversations about AI, lots of conversations about bringing in more young people and encouraging the next generation. So I think that there is a massive want for it. I do think there's maybe a slight lag in it actually being achieved, but I think that's going to happen. I think at first you need the want, and you want people to be able to encourage it. I think I've seen more and more people kind of say that they should bring their younger colleagues to events. I think what's so great about this industry is it's so people focused, and you have all of these events and people do want to talk to you, and that's a real selling point. So you have the combination of like the AI and the tech as well as the people. It's something I think my generation and generations below me need more of and want more of in their careers and in their jobs. So I think inviting them in and kind of doing what we say we're going to do is really important, and we're getting there. I think I was at an event in Peru earlier this year, and one of the speakers did turn around and say, I would love for the next event for you to bring a young person, someone that would never get to go to these normally, because I think it's such a selling point for the industry, and it's really doing what people say they're going to do and encouraging people to join.
And also maybe as a reward for people who've done well or whatever.
And because they're so, outside of the work element of it, they're really fun as well. You're seeing some really cool places, meeting really nice people. It's a real driving factor for staying. And I think that's why when you speak to people, they've been in the industry for 30, 40, 50 years. Yeah,
I'm going to put a little plug in now for Parveen and Aviation
As
Connect.
You should.
Athens this year, beach party. Yes, indeed. Now, as a younger professional in the industry, I just want to ask you, what have been some of the biggest learning moments or confidence building experiences that you've had personally?
This isn't to, make you feel great, but I think this podcast was a really big one.
Sorry, pardon?
Doing this podcast with you, or the podcast with you.
Pardon?
Yes. It was Chris Notter in the podcast. It was really confidence. Like, it took a lot of confidence, I think, and it did boost my confidence as well. I'd only been in the industry, I think, 9 months, 10 months, if my memory serves me correctly, maybe less.
Yeah.
And Emma went, off you go, and we had a really lovely conversation, and it really boosted my confidence, and I think showed what I know. And then a recent one is I had the opportunity to go to a show for the first time on my own. So I didn't have any kind of other mean-timers. A bit daunting again when you first walk in, but I think it showed me that I can do it. There's been loads of incidences where you kind of thrown in the deep end. It feels sink or swim, but 95% of the time you're swimming. And that is really amazing. It's nice to have autonomy over your workload and autonomy over what you're doing, and being able to sell meantime clients, everything to people.
That was a nice little term you used there. Other mean-timers.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah, mean-timers.
There's a T-shirt there.
I think so.
I'm a mean-timer.
For trade shows.
Yeah. So using meantime again, so they clearly value culture and people, all right? And talking to Emma and Julian, and I've known Emma a long time, she's very, very people-focused. So can you share a little moment where you generally felt part of something positive or supportive?
I definitely
as being a mean-timer.
As being a mean-timer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think one of them is the first Christmas party we did. Again, been here kind of 3 or 4 months, and we get the journalists together and we all kind of celebrate. We're a small team, and we all spend a lot of time together. So the Christmas party is a really nice opportunity for us to kind of join with the journalists. And it was a moment where I kind of looked around and everyone was really getting on, and we know all the journalists really well. And I thought, wow, this is a really, it's a fun office environment, and we all really genuinely understand each other and get on and feel like we're part of a team, which is really lovely. So kind of those social elements have been really nice. Or anytime something goes, not that it happens very often, but if something goes wrong or you get a little last minute work thing comes in, everyone kind of collects together. We're all really good at working together. You kind of see around the office, all our desks are very close. So you constantly kind of have that running commentary with each other, and you're able to ask for questions and ask for help or assistance, or kind of bounce ideas off of each other, which I think happens quite a lot.
Yep, no, I think it's lovely. I really do, honestly, Abigail. I think it's lovely, and I remember the first time we met as well. And the one thing that you had was you had a lovely, bubbly personality, very energetic, enthusiastic, and I don't think anybody cannot want to support somebody who has those positive attributes.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, no, 100%. So, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And it's an absolute pleasure, as it always is.
Yes.
And good luck with the next few
Thank you
conferences
so much.
and what
It's
you're
been
doing.
an absolute pleasure.
Yep, it's lovely to see you again, Abigail. Thank you.
Chris.